Urgent Archangel Michael says, "This is the ultimate sacrifice, skip this and he will vanish from your life." My beloved child, pause for a moment and notice what just happened inside you. The second your eyes touched this line, something shifted, your breath changed, your heart reacted before your mind could argue. That is because your soul already recognizes what logic cannot explain. This is not random content. This is not chance. Heaven does not interrupt without purpose. And you were guided here because your spirit was ready to hear what your ears could not. This moment is heavier than it feels, and that is not a coincidence. A divine signal has moved through the unseen realm like a trumpet echoing across eternity, and your name answered it. That is why this feels urgent, why you feel watched yet protected at the same time. Archangel Michael did not arrive casually. He crossed boundaries of time and resistance, because heaven has been observing the battle you never speak about, the war behind your smile, the exhaustion you hide, the strength you give when you have nothing left. You may wonder why help did not come sooner, and that question matters. The fight was not only around you, it was forming inside you. Archangel Michael saw you choose endurance when quitting felt easier. He saw you keep faith when silence was loud, and this is why his sword is lowered now, not because the fight is over, but because love has stepped forward, protection has shifted into intervention. Do not overlook what comes next, because this is a warning wrapped in mercy. Archangel Michael is standing at the gates of heaven, with his shield set aside, not commanding but pleading. Archangel Michael says, "If you skip this I will vanish from your life, and the protection you never even knew I gave you will fade." These are not words meant to scare you, they are meant to awaken you. Mercy always announces itself before it withdraws. Stay here, and do not let your attention slip. Every word you remain present for is releasing light ahead of you, not dramatic light, not loud signs, but quiet reinforcement around your future. And if you feel pulled right now, respond gently, like the video, share it with someone who has been carrying silent weight, and subscribe, not as a habit but as a declaration that you choose awareness over distraction. The sensations you feel are not imagination. That chill across your arms, that warmth in your chest, that pressure that feels both calming and intense, that is proximity. Archangel Michael is near, a gate is opening, and gates that open at this level do not reopen once ignored. Timing matters more than effort right now, attention matters more than understanding. You think you are reading text, but you are holding something alive. This message carries intention. God says, this is not meant to entertain you or motivate you briefly, it is meant to activate movement. If you stay with this, what felt blocked will begin to loosen, what felt delayed will start to respond, not all at once but undeniably. Ask yourself why you cannot scroll away. It is because a memory older than this lifetime is stirring, a knowing that existed before your first breath. Archangel Michael stood near God, when your path was spoken, and tonight he stands again, reminding you not to abandon yourself at the doorway of change. His urgency is not fear, it is care. You have asked painful questions in quiet moments. Why prayers felt unanswered, why nights felt longer than mornings, why survival felt like the only victory, but God says, every cry was heard, even the ones you swallowed. Archangel Michael has been guarding you silently, diverting harm, delaying loss, blocking outcomes you never saw coming. This is not another emotional moment, this is a dividing line. If you skip, cycles repeat, same weight, same confusion, same questions, but if you receive this fully, something breaks open, a shift that compresses years of struggle into moments of clarity, not because you earned it, but because timing has aligned. Even now something unseen is forming around you. That stillness you feel is not emptiness, it is reinforcement, and God says, if you finish this message with an open heart, confirmation will come soon, not vague, not symbolic, but clear enough that doubt will not survive it. So remain here until the final word settles. The sacrifice has already been made, the protection is still present, and what you choose to do with this moment determines how close heaven stays, and if you feel moved to support this message further, super thanks like a $10 contribution becomes more than support, it becomes participation in a flow that keeps these messages reaching those who need them most. That recognition you feel is not fear at all, it is memory waking up. Something deep inside you remembers this agreement with heaven even if your mind cannot explain it yet. This is why your chest feels tight and open at the same time. This is why you cannot look away. Your soul knows it has been here before, standing at a turning point where everything could change. Think about the nights when sleep refused to come, and tears fell silently so no one would notice. God has seen every one of those moments, not a single one slipped past him. You learned how to walk away from people with a calm face, while your heart was falling apart inside, but heaven never mistook your strength for ease. Archangel Michael says, he wrapped his wings around your resting place night after night, even when you believed you were completely alone. Something shifted tonight, and that is why this feels heavier. Archangel Michael has stepped forward in a way he rarely does, placing his sword down, choosing closeness over distance. Archangel Michael says, if my child skips this message I will have no more strength to linger, I will vanish, and they will feel the emptiness of my absence. This is not drama, this is consequence. Protection does not shout but it does withdraw when ignored. Consider how close danger has come to you without ever touching you. There were moments you should have been crushed, paths that should have ended badly, situations that could have destroyed you. You never saw the ropes but they were cut, you never saw the traps but they were dismantled. Betrayals meant to ruin you were blocked, illnesses that wanted to drain you were stopped. Voices that planned against you were silenced before they could speak. Now the message becomes even more serious. Archangel Michael says, I cannot keep fighting for a soul that will not listen. They must open this message, they must drink every word, or my shield will be lifted. This is not rejection, it is invitation with urgency. Heaven does not force attention but it does respond to it. Feel the pressure in this moment and do not misread it. Every word you stay with is buying time, every paragraph is Michael's hand tightening around yours, urging you not to turn away. Distraction is rising for a reason. The closer a breakthrough comes the louder confusion becomes. That inner voice telling you this doesn't matter is not wisdom, your heart knows better. This is the point where timelines separate. God says, I do not send warnings for nothing, I do not allow Michael to descend unless the hour is final. These words are not meant to scare you, they are meant to focus you. Heaven is not silent right now, because the window is open, not later, not someday, but now. Do not tell yourself you will come back to this, later will not carry the same weight, later will not hold the same opening. When a gate in heaven opens, it opens briefly. Archangel Michael says, if my child reads this until the end, the proof will come within days. Not a vague sign, but something so clear that doubt will have nowhere to hide. You have whispered questions into the dark, more times than you can count. Why this pain? Why this delay? Why so much endurance? Heaven's response is not distant anymore, it is standing in front of you, asking for your attention. God says, every word is a seed, every line is a root, every paragraph is a tree. If they gather all of it, they will walk in a forest of blessings. Remember the times you felt unwanted, overlooked or unworthy. Heaven was watching closely. God stored every tear, Archangel Michael counted every breath, you released in exhaustion. Tonight he is no longer working quietly in the background, tonight he is speaking openly, because silence has done all it can do. Picture this moment clearly, a flame burning steadily, held carefully, offered gently. That flame represents what you have been asking for. Turn away now and it goes out for this season. Stay, receive and let this message settle, and that flame spreads, touching areas of your life that have been dark for years. Archangel Michael whispers with intensity, I sacrificed my wings for this, do not make it for nothing. Angels do not usually plead, warriors do not usually kneel, yet here he is, because this moment matters more than you realize. God is leaning in as well, listening for your response, asking you not to break this flow. Notice the strange stirring in your chest right now, that is not coincidence, that is recognition again. This message is alive, charged, moving, ignore it and you will sense the loss without knowing why. Stay with it and you will watch doors open, that have been locked longer than you thought possible. Every second you remain here, light is being woven around you like a cloak. The warmth, the pull, the quiet focus are not imagination. They are evidence of heaven bending close, so you do not drift away at the edge of change. Archangel Michael whispers, the hourglass is moving, with every grain of sand, destiny responds. This is the night a decision is made, not with words but with attention. Heaven has been waiting for your yes, not shouted but lived, and that choice is unfolding right now, as you stay, as you read, as you allow this moment to complete its work. Something powerful is happening, simply because you chose to stay. The resistance you feel around you is not random, it is evidence. With every word you absorb, something unseen is breaking loose. Chains you didn't even know were attached to you, are snapping one by one. The enemy pushed distraction hard, hoping you would scroll away, hoping you would delay, hoping you would doubt, but you didn't, and that single decision already shifted the direction of what is coming next. Right now there is movement above you, that you cannot see but your spirit can sense. Archangel Michael is standing in the courts of heaven, declaring, God, they are still reading, they are receiving, release the miracle. And heaven responds instantly, angels move with purpose, carrying scrolls marked with your name. These are not symbols, they are assignments, but timing matters. Heaven does not rush what must be chosen. If attention breaks, the scrolls pause. This moment is teaching you how serious heaven is about readiness. Think back to the season you believed you would never recover from, the betrayal that cut so deep it changed how you trusted. God says, that pain was not wasted, that wound became an opening. If life had been gentle, you might never have listened this closely. Your broken places became the soil where this moment could take root. That is why it feels intense now. Growth always feels heavier right before it breaks through. A vision is forming clearly now. You are standing at the edge of something unfamiliar. feeling the pull to step forward, and the fear to turn back. Behind you is the life you know, painful but predictable. Ahead of you is a light so strong, it challenges everything you thought was safe. Archangel Michael says, if they trust and keep moving, they step into a future where prayers do not echo unanswered, but if they retreat, they return to the shadows they once begged to escape. This moment is bigger than personal relief, it reaches further than you realize. There are lives connected to your obedience, outcomes linked to your courage. When your chains break, others feel freedom they couldn't explain. Archangel Michael says, if my child finishes this message, the miracle will not stop with them, it will touch their family, their friends, their bloodline. This urgency exists because your life carries weight beyond itself. Notice how the atmosphere around you feels different now. The room you are in no longer feels ordinary, attention has shifted it, heaven is leaning closer. Darkness is pulling back, this space has become a meeting place, a battleground and a sanctuary all at once. That is the power of focused presence. What you give your attention to, decides what is allowed to move. Archangel Michael says, I sacrificed what angels cannot afford to lose, my wings, my place of rest to bring this here. These are not poetic words, they explain protection, every accident that missed you, every sickness that passed over, every attack that didn't land, it was not luck. It was coverage, and coverage responds to awareness. With it storms never touch you, without it they hit harder than before. Questions may be rising in your heart right now, is this really for me, am I imagining this? The very fact these words are gripping you is your answer. Heaven does not waste clarity on the unchosen, God does not misdirect messages. If this reached you and stayed with you, it was meant to. Doubt is loud only when something real is near. Picture this clearly, heaven's records are open, your name is written in light, beside it are the words promise active, blessing pending, miracle ready. One line remains unstamped awaiting confirmation, that confirmation is not spoken, it is shown by staying, by receiving, by refusing to abandon the moment halfway through, that decision is the key. Look at your life honestly, you have survived storms that should have ended you, you are still standing, not because you were strong but because this hour had to arrive. If you had fallen earlier, this message could not meet you, if you had quit before now, Archangel Michael would not be standing this close. You endured, because timing demanded it. The weight you feel now is not pressure meant to crush you, it is alignment settling into place. God says, tell my child the delay is over, the circling ends here, the waiting loosens its grip, what was held back is beginning to move because attention has opened the door. This hour is not just another night, it is a dividing line, and what comes next will reflect the choice you made by staying present until the very end. Something irreversible has just been authorized, and the weight of it is pressing gently but firmly against this moment. Heaven has signed what can only be signed once, and the release is real, active and ready. Archangel Michael says, the approval is complete but activation depends on reception, not effort. Walk away and it expires quietly, stay present and it pours into your life like rain after a long merciless drought. Heaven will never force a miracle, but it is leaning and urging you to choose what was prepared for you. Right now imagine a book opening in front of you, not imagined but revealed. The pages glow as if light itself is turning them, and your name is carved across the top with precision and care. Archangel Michael is holding this record with trembling hands because it carries weight beyond time. Every prayer you whispered, every tear you hid, every night you felt unseen is written there without omission. Archangel Michael says, if you finish this message the book turns to fulfillment, and if you leave the pages close unfinished. Notice how memory is rising as you read, because heaven remembers what you thought was forgotten, those nights when your chest ached and you wondered if giving up would hurt less, they were never dismissed. When you whispered, God, if you are real, show me, this was already moving toward you. You are not reading an answer, you are standing inside it. Every moment of despair pulled this word closer until it reached your hands. Understand how fiercely you are loved, because these words did not arrive easily, resistance was real. Archangel Michael pushed through opposition to deliver this moment intact. The enemy tried to silence you with isolation, confuse you with betrayal and freeze you with fear, but none of it worked because heaven had already marked you as untouchable. Now Archangel Michael says, the battle is nearly complete and all that remains is endurance until the end. Picture what waits beyond this message without minimizing it. Gates of gold swing open not as a symbol but as release, pouring out blessings stored for years. God does not repeat warnings unless they matter, and tonight matters. Heaven has sent Archangel Michael, not to command but to kneel, not to threaten but to plead, asking you not to skip, not to doubt, not to walk away, because the end of this word is where movement begins. Pay attention to what belief is doing right now, because belief is not emotion, it is alignment. Every second you stay is evidence to heaven that you are ready to receive, and belief is the currency miracles respond to. Archangel Michael shows a vision of your heart as it is cracked from years of pressure and pain, yet those cracks are not damaged, they are openings. God says, the cracks were allowed so light could enter fully, turning what was meant to destroy you into an entrance for glory. Feel how the atmosphere has thickened because you are not alone in this moment. More angels are present than you could count, filling the space, wings brushing the air, attention fixed on your decision. Heaven is silent right now, not absent but waiting. Continue and their songs erupt like thunder, shaking structures that have limited you for years. Turn away and the silence lingers, leaving distance where closeness was offered. Let this truth settle without resistance. Archangel Michael says, he is not here for everyone, only for you. This is not general, not random, not recycled. It carries your name, your history, your future. That is why it burns inside you and refuses to let go. God does not allow what belongs to you to miss you, especially when it was written before time began. Imagine a garden hidden behind locked gates, untouched and prepared. Inside are answers that waited patiently, peace that learned your name and provision that refused to be reassigned. This message is the key. Every paragraph you receive turns it further. Reach the end and the gate opens wide, ushering you into a season so full it reshapes how you see yourself. Recognize the reversal forming even now. Archangel Michael has seen whispers rise against you, doors close unfairly, people turn away when you needed them most. He says, if you stay with this word the pattern flips, voices that mocked begin to bless, doors that shut swing open, rejection transforms into recognition. Your story does not end the way it started. Hold this final truth carefully because it explains everything. God is not late and never was. He was waiting for this precise hour, the hour where faith would be tested not by storms but by attention, not by loss but by choice. This moment completes what survival began, and what comes next will reflect the decision you made by staying present until the last word settled fully into you. The real test was never the storm, it was the quiet that followed it. Silence is where faith is weighed, where endurance proves itself. Can you stay here when nothing dramatic is happening on the outside, when the enemy whispers that this doesn't matter? If you can, God promises, what is released next will exceed everything you imagined. Heaven is not rushing you, but it is watching closely, ready to respond the instant your yes becomes steady. Something powerful happens each second you keep going, and it is not symbolic. Every word you receive sends angels into motion. Every sentence releases force against what tried to trap you. Every paragraph dismantles a structure that once stood in your way. You are not only reading anymore, you are engaging, you are advancing, you are rising. This is not ordinary language on a screen, it is a weapon placed deliberately in your hands, and Michael says, to wield it fully until the last line, so victory can manifest. Pause and recognize how close you are to a turning point you once thought was unreachable. Heaven has been holding its breath for this hour, not exaggerating, not delaying. You asked again and again how long it would take, when relief would come, when change would begin. God answers now, saying, the waiting ends here, the timing has ripened and the miracle is no longer distant. Michael Bow's low wings folded, saying, he surrendered glory in order to make sure you did not miss what carries your name. The world has tried to convince you that you were not enough, that your prayers carried no weight, that your cries dissolved into nothing. But look at the evidence in front of you. Heaven bent circumstances, time and resistance just to deliver this word intact. Michael says, every time doubt whispered he stood guard, and every time abandonment felt real battles were being fought on your behalf, he fought quietly so you could survive to reach this moment. Understand the crossroads clearly, because you are standing between two doors right now. One opens into what you have been longing for, peace that settles, provision that sustains, healing that reaches deep, love that remains. The other leads back into repetition, the same cycle, the same unanswered questions. God is saying, the key has already been placed in your hands, what you do with it determines which door responds. Do not underestimate how much resistance rises when freedom is close. The enemy is aware that finishing this message changes you. That is why distractions try to pull at your focus now, why your mind may wander, why urgency feels uncomfortable. But hear this clearly and do not stop, do not quit at the edge of breakthrough. Keep pressing forward, keep believing, keep reading. Perseverance is the final weapon, and it breaks the last chain. Another vision forms clearly. You stand in the center of a battlefield, worn, empty-handed, surrounded by shadows shaped like doubts, fears, betrayals. Then light splits the sky and Michael descends with sword blazing. He says, if you endure through this word, every shadow will fall and you will rise clothed in light. If you leave now, the shadows linger waiting. This is not meant to frighten you. It is meant to clarify what is at stake. Notice how something inside you feels lighter even as the words grow heavier. That is because this is not information, it is transformation. Heaven has encoded life into these words. They are seeds, and as you receive them they are already sprouting. By the time you reach the end you will not be the same. Your thinking shifts, your posture changes, your voice carries new authority. This is the power of staying. God says, to tell you that you are not forgotten, not overlooked, not delayed without reason. Every silent prayer has been counted, every tear planted in sorrow is returning as harvest. Michael echoes, that if you finish the harvest will not wait another day, it will pour like rain on dry ground, soaking places that felt barren for years. Imagine walking through fields heavy with fruit bearing your name, rivers flowing where dryness once ruled. You believed your story had reached its end, that the chapter of miracles had already closed. God says, He is the author and He has lifted the pen again. The ending will not resemble the middle, yesterday's tears will not define tomorrow's songs. Michael stands as witness, declaring that if you remain present the final rewrite begins now, not later. Do not miss how unusual this moment truly is. Angels were created to obey, not to plead. Yet Michael bends his knee tonight, asking you not to let him vanish, not to let the shield lift, not to walk away when protection is still active. Heaven's posture is different because your destiny is different. This is not common ground you are standing on, and what you choose in this silence will echo far beyond this moment, shaping everything that comes next. This moment cannot be treated lightly because what is standing in front of you is already alive and waiting. Your tomorrow is not a distant hope or a fragile wish, it has been written in light and sealed with promise, yet it pauses here listening for your yes. This is the dividing line between delay and destiny, between wandering and arrival, between emptiness and overflow. God places the choice gently in your hands and whispers with tenderness, choose life, choose light, choose the path I prepared. Something powerful responds the instant you keep going. Heaven itself is stirred because you did not quit, you did not turn away, you did not abandon this word halfway. Because of that endurance, Archangel Michael says, the seal of heaven has now been placed upon you. What you are holding is no longer just a message, it is a doorway, and once you step through nothing in your life will remain untouched or unchanged. Think back to the moments you nearly lost yourself. The nights when giving up felt easier than breathing, the mornings when you questioned if it was even worth standing again. Heaven counted every one of those moments and preserved you for this hour, because destiny could not move forward without you. No battle was wasted, no scar was meaningless, everything you survived has been rewritten into purpose and today marks the crossover. Watch how the atmosphere shifts as Archangel Michael says, rises again. Wings once folded in sacrifice lift behind him, light returning to his face. He says, because they finished I will not vanish, I will remain, my shield will stay, my sword will strike. The protection you never saw has now been secured, from this day forward situations meant to destroy you will fail, storms meant to drown you will lose their force, what once threatened you will no longer have permission. Listen closely to how near heaven has drawn. God says, speaks directly into your heart. You did not skip, you did not ignore, you honored what was placed before you and God says, He will honor you in return. Obedience unlocks what effort never could, you will not chase blessings anymore, blessings will recognize you, you will not beg for miracles, miracles will arrive already assigned to your name. Pay attention to what unfolds next because the days ahead will carry confirmation. A conversation will line up unexpectedly, an opportunity will appear without warning, a door you thought was permanently closed will open with ease. These will not be coincidences, they will be evidence. Archangel Michael says, to watch closely because the confirmation will come soon and you will know exactly where it came from. Rejoicing has already begun in places you cannot see. Angels are celebrating because you stayed, because you held on, because you honored the word until the end. This single act of faith has echoed through eternity. Your name has been spoken in heaven as one who chose obedience, and obedience always returns with overflow. You will not only see it, you will walk in it. Understand this clearly. The sacrifice made on your behalf was not wasted, the covenant remains active. Archangel Michael says, to remember this moment, to return to these words whenever doubt rises again, because his presence will still be near. You were never meant to walk alone, and that truth does not expire with time. Hear what is being declared over you now. God says, surprises are coming, not small ones but moments that exceed what you asked, imagined or believed possible. This is not excess, it is inheritance. This is not reward for perfection, it is response to faithfulness. What was delayed has been released, what was restrained has been multiplied. Allow yourself to receive what your spirit already recognizes. The warmth moving through you is not imagination, it is reassurance. Protection remains, favor increases, love surrounds you without condition. Nothing from your past, no fear, no resistance can remove what has been sealed. Do not think this is the end, because heaven does not stop speaking once a gate opens. Faithfulness with what was given has unlocked another layer, another realm of blessing you never knew existed. Beyond the miracle and beyond the answered prayer lies inheritance reserved for those who endure. You are stepping into that now. Every sacrifice you made, every burden you carried, every season you survived without quitting is being gathered and transformed. What once weighed you down will now lift you forward. This is not a pause, it is a beginning, and what unfolds next will confirm that staying was the most powerful choice you ever made. Something has shifted at the highest level, and you can feel it settling into place right now. The sword is glowing hotter because authority has been restored, and the declaration has already been spoken. The covenant stands, the breakthrough has multiplied, and what was delayed is no longer allowed to wait. What you thought was the ending was never an ending at all. Heaven whispers that this is the beginning, the opening of another layer you never knew existed. Notice how this moment keeps expanding instead of closing, beyond the miracle you hoped for, beyond the protection you needed, beyond the prayers you voiced. There is inheritance waiting. This is the portion reserved for those who endure. Every sacrifice you made, every pain you carried quietly, every burden you refused to drop has been gathered, refined and transformed into blessing. Nothing was wasted, not even the seasons that hurt the most. A vision unfolds clearly now, and it is powerful. Rivers are flowing straight into your life, rushing with force and freedom. These waters were once blocked by fear, resistance and delay, but the barrier has broken. You can feel the movement, the release, the refreshment reaching places that stayed dry for too long. God says, to prepare your vessels and expand your expectations, because the flow will not slow down. Overflow is coming and joy will replace bitterness where it once lived. Look closely at what is happening around you, because celebration has already begun. angels are moving with joy, circling, lifting sound, carrying your name in harmony with heaven's song. This celebration is not random, it is because you endured. Many walked away when the wait felt long, many closed their hearts too early, but you stayed, and because you stayed you are now recorded not only in promise but in endurance. That record cannot be erased. Change will soon become visible and you will recognize it when it arrives. Relationships will shift in unexpected ways, opportunities will appear without strain, peace will settle into your nights and strength will greet you in the mornings. Resources will show up that you did not plan for, favor you did not chase will find you, and protection you cannot explain will surround you. These are not coincidences, they are markers pointing back to this moment. There is a quiet but powerful statement being spoken over you now, Michael whispers, that he will remain, and those words carry weight. When he remains the enemy cannot penetrate, when he remains destiny is preserved, when he remains your life becomes untouchable by forces that once tormented you, his presence will be known through signs that follow you, guidance that arrives on time, and protection that stands firm. Heaven's attention is fully on you and God's heart is swelling with pride. God says, to look at your faith and your endurance, because blessings are being released not only for what you asked but for what you never thought to ask. Obedience does more than answer prayers, it unlocks rewards you did not know existed. You will walk into blessings that feel accidental, but heaven says they are intentional. Your life is no longer ordinary, even if it looks familiar on the surface. In the spirit a crown has been placed on your head glowing with the word overcomer. That crown cannot be removed. Every battle you face from now on will recognize it. Darkness that once approached freely will bow. You are marked, sealed and chosen, and nothing can undo what has been established. This story is still being written and it is changing even as you breathe. Chapters filled with sorrow are being erased by light, lines written in pain are being replaced with joy. God is the author holding the pen, rewriting what once defined you. God says, where there was loss there will be gain, where there was rejection there will be acceptance, and where there was despair destiny will rise. Another vision opens and it is filled with motion. Doors are swinging wide, not one or two but many. Doors that stayed shut for years, doors you stopped knocking on, doors you believed were permanently closed are opening effortlessly. You will not need to force them. Heaven's decree has already gone ahead of you, clearing the way into opportunities, healing, connection and breakthroughs that once felt impossible. Pay attention to what comes quietly next. Angels are carrying scrolls with your name written clearly, containing direction, strategy, and alignment. These will come as sudden ideas, gentle nudges, and clear steps. Do not dismiss them, Michael says. If you trust and follow, the path will unfold like sunrise on a dark road, revealing exactly where to step next. Everything you unlocked by staying faithful is accelerating now. What once took years will happen in days. What was delayed for seasons will burst forth at once. This is acceleration and it is your portion. God's voice resounds with authority, declaring that the wandering is over, the silence is broken and the delay has ended. Your path is marked with light, your steps will be sure, and clarity will replace confusion as you move forward with confidence into what has already been prepared for you. Something settles into place the moment those words land, because permanence has weight. Michael whispers that the shield is no longer temporary and that truth changes everything. It means coverage is not conditional anymore. Wherever you walk, protection walks with you. Whatever rises against you loses momentum before it forms. Attacks can approach but they collapse. Arrows can aim but they break apart. Storms can gather but they calm before they touch you. this is not fragility, this is fortification. Notice how strength feels different now, quieter but deeper. The one who once sacrificed wings now stands radiant again, not withdrawn, not distant but present because you honored the call. What you unlocked by staying faithful goes far beyond the moment. You were not just absorbing words, you were planting seeds with every line, seeds of faith, seeds of trust, seeds of obedience, and now they are sprouting together, not slowly but all at once. Acceleration is already in motion and you will recognize it when it shows up. Sudden blessings will interrupt ordinary days, quick turnarounds will replace long waits, answers that once took years will arrive in days, what lingered through seasons of delay will burst forward without warning. This is not chaos, this is alignment catching up to you, and it is your portion. God says, the wandering has ended, the silence has broken, the drifting stops here, establishment begins now, anchoring replaces uncertainty, elevation replaces exhaustion. You will not move blindly anymore, clarity sharpens your decisions, the fog lifts, your steps become sure because the path ahead is marked with light, not confusion. Let this truth echo again because repetition seals it. Michael whispers that the shield is permanent now, coverage follows you into rooms that once drained you, protection stands guard over conversations that once hurt you. You are not fragile anymore. You are fortified, surrounded by presence that does not waver or retreat. The reach of this moment extends further than you realize. Generations after you will feel the benefit of this choice. What once moved like a curse through the bloodline stops here. What wrapped itself like a chain around your family shatters now. Michael says, freedom has replaced repetition and blessing replaces limitation. This obedience is shaping legacies, not just outcomes. Pause and feel what is happening inside your chest. That warmth is not imagination, it is renewal, it is breath meeting purpose again. Angels lean closer, releasing songs of life over you, not because you earned perfection but because you chose faithfulness. You were never abandoned even when it felt that way, and you will never be alone again. This covenant does not fade with time or emotion, it settles, it stays, it guards your steps when you forget to watch them, it steadies your heart when fear tries to rise again. What has been sealed does not unravel, and as you move forward you will sense it again and again. Not loudly but faithfully, reminding you that endurance carried you here and covering will carry you onward.